Hello, Zero Squad, it's your god, your devil, the Supreme Reaper, back at it with a new bang, another banger. What if Deku was the Shadow Monarch Part 1? Let's get into it. Now then, after the baby's birth, Inko's life would begin to go downhill slowly. Bills would become too hard for her to pay on her own. She cut connections with her friends, Misaki, all of them. She became cut off from the rest of the world. Although there was one item left behind, the last thing her husband ever owned before his death, the legendary S-rank weapon that he so wanted. As we'd zoom in to see Inko sitting in front of the altar where the katana was placed in its sheath, although the katana looked as though it was made of stone and not steel. He spent nearly his entire fortune on this thing, and he never even got to use it. Couldn't even draw it. Didn't even get to bring it on the dungeon raid. All the power of grinding he did. All that was left with us was a couple million gold and only about 15,000 yen, which barely is enough for pills and stuff, and the baby. Our porter's salary isn't enough to pay. As suddenly Izuku would cry in the next room loudly. "I'll have to take care of Izuku," she says with her broken voice. As she stumbles and walks to Izuku's room, the power would go out before flickering back on. That's the 4th time this week. If I can't pay the electricity bill, we won't have any power for God knows how long. As she walked, she would arrive. As Izuku cried and cried, Inko would walk up to his crib as she'd start humming a melody to him. As slowly the baby would stop crying, as he'd fall asleep quickly. Sorry if you can hear my dogs bark in the background. It's the puppies playing with each other. As months would go by, months would turn into years, as we'd see a toddler running around his home with fluorescent dark jade green hair. Come on, Izuku. No! Why you do that? Get my diaper changed. the 5-year-old child would cry against his mother. Wait, 5-year-olds don't wear diapers. I don't want to get washed. He said he only. Ugh, tired. God, I'm fucking rusty. Oh, shit. I'm never gonna be able to pop my back. As after a couple minutes of fighting, she managed to get Izuku into the bath. Come on, Izu, it's your first day of school today. Of preschool. Of kindergarten. I don't want to go. Too bad, Izuku. You have to go. But what if we can't afford? What if we can't afford school, Mom? It'll be okay, honey. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't you worry about that. Come on, let's get you into the car. Okay. As Midoriya. As Inko would walk towards the door, Izuku running behind her as they leave the house, get inside her car, and they would drive to Izuku's school. As Izuku... Wait, did I say this was villain? Did I say this was going to be a villain AU or... As they get to school, everyone's going in, everyone's talking. They're talking, the parents are talking with teachers, yada yada. As Inko would leave after all that is done, as Izuku would be brought to his class. As he enters the classroom behind the teacher. As he enters the room, he'd hear chattering, talking, whatever. But he'd then look around and see a dirty blonde-haired boy with like golden hair almost, who sitting in the corner of the class towards the window, talking with his friends. Well, I got my quirk. What's your quirk, Bakugo? One of the kids would go. One of the kids would respond to Bakugo's words. Well, I can create explosions. As Bakugo puts out his hand, as small explosions erupt from his palms. Holy shit, that's so cool, dude. One of the students would go in excitement. As Izuku would sit next to the boy. Well, sit far from the boy, but still close to him. My mom took me to the quirk doctor yesterday to see if I had my quirk, and I got my quirk. If I was quirkless or not. I couldn't imagine being quirkless. Can you imagine that? Losers. They're a lesser species compared to us. They don't deserve our pity. As Bakugo would look over to Izuku. Hey, you! Huh? Izuku would look up, turning to Bakugo. What's your quirk? Do you even have one? I don't know, actually. My mom hasn't taken me to the quirk doctor to get tested. Oh. Well then, wanna be friends? Sure. As the hours fly by, it would be recess. Izuku would walk out from the school. He'd run around the playground talking to other kids. As would return, as he'd go to the swings, sitting on them. As he kicked his feet back and forth, he'd see Bakugo and his posse of friends grouped up and gathered. Huh? As Izuku could hear the cries of a boy. As he'd walk over, as he'd spot Katsuki standing over a kid who's crying, holding his knee Bakugo had his fist in his palm. Go away, loser. Only people with quirks are allowed to be here, you quirkless nobody. Please stop it. I just want to play with you guys. As Izuku would walk over. Bakugo, what are you doing to this kid? Huh? Oh, Izuku. Izuku. Katsuki, what are you doing to this kid? Well, I'm showing him his place, obviously. He's quirkless, and those kind of scum don't belong in the world. Plus, all they do is get in the way of heroes, like All Might. Yeah, but that's no excuse to attack them. Come on, Bakugo, just leave him alone. Ugh, fine. Get out of here, loser, or I won't be so merciful next time. As Deku, Bakugo, and his posse of friends would talk, hanging out, having fun, chilling, relaxing. As the next day would quickly roll around for Izuku. As he'd go to school after being dropped off by his mother, Izuku would go to his class, sit down, and just read. As he wasn't as energetic as most 5-year-olds are. In fact, he was very low maintenance. He preferred not to move around much. And sometimes he preferred to rather just be invisible and not noticed by others. As Izuku sat through the class, paying a surprising amount of attention, he'd noticed Bakugo wasn't in the class. And Bakugo, this is the second day of school, so it's not really common to miss the second day of school. So Izuku would wait, and he'd ask to go to the bathroom. As the teacher would obviously say yes, he's a 5-year-old kid, so they don't have to be as strict. Izuku would walk out the class, going towards the bathroom, looking around the hallway, strolling, before he heard the sounds coming from one of the bathrooms. They sounded like explosions. The only person with a quirk like that is Katsuki. As Deku ran to the bathroom, he'd see Bakugo beating a kid, fighting a kid, as he'd gut punch him, smacking him, doing a double hand hammer slam over his head. As the kid coughed up blood he'd fall to the ground crying. Please, I just want to use the bathroom. Let me go. No. Quirkless nerd, you pathetic loser. Katsuki, what are you doing? Izuku shouted at his friend. Oh, hey Izuku. Care to join us? We're just showing this quirkless nobody his place, having the audacity to try to even attempt to use the bathroom when people with actual meaningful quirks are trying to use it. That's no excuse to beat up on him, Katsuki. You're soft, Izuku. Come on. It's fun to get your anger out every now and then. Yeah, it might be fun for you, but it's not fun for him. Look at him. He's bleeding. You broke his nose. Please. He'll walk it off. Yeah, so what? What if he tells the teachers? Oh, he won't do that. Now will you? As Bakugo would turn, looking at the boy on the ground, crying as the boy shakes his head in fear. See, Izuku, it's fine. Now either come over here and help me beat his ass, or get out, loser. Who texted us? As suddenly, Izuku would charge forward, tackling Bakugo. What are you doing, Izuku? Get off of me! As Bakugo would elbow Izuku in his back, knocking him off. Trying to defend this nobody, this loser? He doesn't even have a quirk. His kind doesn't belong in the world with us, the superior race. Ow. Izuku would stand up, groaning as he rubbed his back in pain. Get out of here, Izuku, before I beat you, too. And take that pathetic nobody with you. Time to give Izuku a new best friend. As Izuku would walk through the halls with the boy. They'd be walking, chilling. As the end of the day would come, school would pass, but Izuku would walk out the school to hear a boy screaming, to hear two boys screaming, actually. As he walks towards the sound, he sees Bakugo again. As he sits there and sees Bakugo kick one of the kids in their gut, full force. As he runs and tackles Bakugo with no hesitation. Bakugo, what are you doing? He yells as he tackles him. As Bakugo would pull his fist back, punching Izuku square across the jaw, knocking him off. Well, you've made your choice, Izuku. You keep defending these worthless losers. Seriously, what benefit do you get? Even quirkless people can become hunters, Katsuki. Yeah, and you know how rare that is? You understand that a majority of the hunter population are quirkless people? So in fact, it means people with quirks are inferior to those without. Alright, that's it, Deku! As he'd pull his fist back, going to punch Izuku with an explosion, as suddenly a small crystal wall would appear in front of Izuku, blocking the explosion. As a kid with diamond blue hair, or cyan blue hair, bright cyan blue hair with some shade to it, would walk up to them. As he'd run, jumping into the air, similar to Mikey from Tokyo Revengers, and drop kick Bakugo in the head, smacking him into the ground. Nope, 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 nope. Ooh, hiccups. I have hiccups. Be right back. As Izuku would sit there with his hands in front of his face before looking up to see the cyan blue hair of a boy standing in front of him. Why don't you leave him alone, Bakugo? I mean, come on. Just because he's quirkless doesn't mean you get to beat up on him. And come on, don't you think it's a little bit unnecessary, using your quirk to, attack him? Oh yeah, and who are you? What are you gonna do about it, nerd? Fuck, I need to come up with a name. My name is Kesho. And of course, you're Bakugo Katsuki. Everyone knows you. The bully who abuses quirkless people. Yeah, isn't your mom a hunter? Yeah. Whoa, too deep of a voice for a 5-year-old. God damn, grown man. Yeah, what about it? Well, my mom's also a hunter. So, I could technically get your mother in trouble with the association. So, leave him alone. Fuck you! Such blatant language. As Bakugo would storm off, as Kesho would turn around to Deku, helping him off the ground. First helping the other quirkless kid off the ground, then helping Izuku off the ground. Yeah, I'm fine. So, what's your name? I'm sorry. So, what's your name? Oh, me? I'm Izuku Midoriya. You're Kosho, right? Mm-hmm. Whoa, your quirk's cool. What does it let you do? Oh, my quirk? I call it crystal manipulation. Whoa, really? Mm-hmm. I don't really understand how it works all that much, but I know that I can create crystals and diamonds out of it. Although my mom says it's a very dangerous quirk if not used properly. So yeah. You said your mom was a hunter? Huh? Yeah. What's it like having a mother for a hunter? About as normal as having a regular mother for having a non-hunter as a mother. Anyway, so Izuku Midoriya, do you want to be friends? Yeah, sure. I'd love to be friends. As the two boys would hang out, as Izuku would actually bring Kosho to his house, and Kosho would call his mother, asking if he can go to Izuku's house, and his mother would not care. Like she's not like, it's not like she doesn't care about him. She's like, it's fine. They'd travel and they'd get to Izuku's house, as Inko would actually pick up the boys. As Inko drives to the school, she arrives to see Izuku sitting on the curb next to Kosho. Who's this, Izuku? Which one? Oh, Inko would ask. Oh, this is Kocho. He's my friend, Mom. You made a friend? Oh, I'm happy, babe. I'm proud. I'm happy for you, baby. Would it be okay if he came over to the house? Of course. Did he ask his mother, though? Yeah. She said it's okay. She said she was wondering if you could drop me off at, around 8 p.m. If it's okay? Yeah, of course. Of course. I'd be happy to. As Kosho would get to Izuku's house, they'd hang out and they'd talk. They'd relax, they'd chill, they'd just vibe. As actually a few weeks would go by. As a week would turn into a month. As a month of school has already gone by. As we jump to the end of school. As not school, it's a weekend. To see Izuku with his mother in a doctor's office. Are you excited, sweetie? Yeah. Ow, I'm biting my fucking tongue. Yeah. Izuku would be jittering, vibrating in excitement. Calm down, honey. I wonder if I wonder what's a quirk. We'll have your quirk. Ooh, I can't wait. Izuku, the Midoriyas. As, in fact, the same professor from decades ago, back when All Might was first evaluated and got his S rank, would be there. Come on, just into this office. We'll do some tests, blood samples, if it's okay, X-ray. Just sign here and here. We need your approval for this. Now, of course, using the advancement of hunter technology, we've upgraded our quirk scanning systems to be more accurate. So in the past 10 years alone, the percentile of quirkless people have actually gone somewhat down, even, due to the accuracy of this machine, because it can scan if you have the potential to be a hunter, while also scanning if you have a quirk. So then, let's get your boy in and start the exams. As 5 hours would pass as they'd sit in front of the doctor, as he'd sit in his chair with a sad look on his face. Well, ma'am, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your son is quirkless. And he has no potential of becoming a hunter whatsoever. as Izuku sat there with his All Might figurine playing with it. Whew! Bow! Hearing these words come out of the doctor's mouth, he'd freeze instantly, dropping the toy. What? Oh, honey, I'm so sorry, Izuku. Mom, does this mean I can't be a hero like All Might? I'm sorry, Izuku. As Ingo and Izuku would leave the hospital, distraught, saddened. As it starts to rain, as they drive home, they'd get home, Izuku would throw his stuff down, running to his room as tears filled his eyes. He'd go, sitting in his room. Turning on a video of All Might rescuing hundreds of people from a dungeon break, fighting and killing beasts left and right with his bare hands. His sheer strength alone requiring him not to even require, he doesn't even need a weapon to kill these monsters. As Izuku sat there, saddened, distraught, his mother would enter the room, before falling to her knees, wrapping her arms around his neck, hugging him tightly from behind as they both cried and cried and cried. As we jump to the next day at school, as Izuku would enter the school building saddened, his eyes barely open, his head down. He'd enter class to see Bakugo sitting there reading a comic book. As Izuku sat in his spot, Bakugo would come over, smacking his hand on the desk. Walking away. Before turning around quickly, as he'd look down at Izuku. I saw you going to the quirk doctor office. What did you get? Izuku sat there silently, on the verge of breaking down. I'm quirkless, and I won't even awaken as a hunter. Bakugo laughed at Izuku as his whole posse joined him. You're pathetic! To think we were friends. This entire time I was friends with nobody. I swear, I should beat you right now. But I won't, because we're in class. But after class, you can expect the beating of a lifetime. But that is where I'm going to leave off part 1 to what it. Now, the first 4 parts are going to be backstories. The first 3 parts are going to be backstories. So, episode 0, episode 1, episode 3, episode 2. And episode 3 are backstory episodes. So, next episode will be episode 2. That will continue on Izuku's backstory. Now then, if you watched this far, shout out. If you are willing to, I will leave a link to my Patreon in the description. Please check it out. It's only $3 to support the anime, my anime, and for my channel. There is a 1 week, I believe a 1 week free payment plan where you can subscribe for the first 7 days. You do not have to pay, but after 7 days are up, you have to pay $3 a month. Or whatever. I don't understand how Patreon really works. So I would really, really, really appreciate it if you subscribe to my Patreon and support the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye, my